Hi there guys, so a bit of a weird one. The Kovalev versus Canelo fight has been accused of being staged and fixed so that Canelo would become four-weight world champion. Now the fight wasn't all that exciting, it was a very technical fight and it just suddenly burst into life for a few moments when Canelo landed that left hook behind the guard of Sergey Kovalev and then finished him with that right hand. Now, I don't believe the fight was staged as such, but one thing I do believe is that Sergey Kovalev was being safety first the whole fight. He didn't want to get hit from Canelo because he has that insecurity of knowing that he can be hurt and knocked out, and he knew that Canelo possessed the power to do so. So Kovalev didn't want to get hit at all in that fight. That was why he was on the go all the time. We've never seen Kovalev really boxing too much off of the back foot. There was one round where Kovalev managed to back Canelo up and Canelo took the pressure off and allowed Kovalev to back him up. That was when I believe that maybe Sergey Kovalev was pushing the fight a bit more and perhaps there was a turning point, because I'd never really seen Canelo go backwards in the fight at all until that round. And that was kind of odd. It was an odd fight, I will admit to that. I don't believe it was staged, but I do believe it was extremely odd, where both fighters never really stepped on the gas, especially Sergey Kovalev, because normally he's a come-forward fighter, he likes to throw power shots, and I believe that he was hurting Canelo at some stages in the fight, but he never followed it up. He didn't really believe in his power in this fight. And Canelo just seemed like he was just going to walk Kovalev down, make him get tired, and then take him out with a body shot. I believe that was what Canelo was thinking in there. So both of them got caught within the same mindset. Kovalev was thinking, I can't get hit from this guy, so I have to be safety first. And Canelo was just thinking, I don't really have to do that much. I can just follow him around the ring, cut the ring off, make him tired, and then take him out. So they both had a similar mindset of, I'm just going to take it as easy as possible and win this fight boring without expending any energy at all. So that is the reason why I believe the fight never really caught fire. Plus, Kovalev was holding his jab out. He wasn't throwing it. The ref kept telling him, use it, don't just leave it out there. And he got warned about that a lot. Also, Kovalev was just throwing that jab out. He was pushing it out. He was just not really bothered about landing it. He just wanted to use it to keep Canelo away from him. So Kovalev didn't want to engage and Canelo was half in the fight, half out the fight. I mean, up until the last few rounds of the fight, Canelo didn't really press the fight. I mean, he was applying pressure, but it wasn't the Canelo we are used to seeing. And as I said, Kovalev was just pushing that jab out, and it seemed like he was doing his best not to hurt Canelo, because at some stages, he made Canelo back up, he made Canelo stand still, and you just think, I mean, Canelo's a middleweight, he's got a good chin, and we've never seen him dropped before, but I mean, that's never stopped Kovalev before. He knocked out Nathan Cleverly, who had never touched the canvas before either, and who had a granite chin. So Kovalev's the kind of guy who knocks people out who don't ever get knocked out. He is usually the first fighter to do that to someone, the first fighter to drop a fighter, the first fighter to knock someone out who's never been knocked out before. So you would think that when he makes Canelo stand still or make him back up, then step on it. That's what he normally does. That's the Kovalev we are used to seeing. I mean, Kovalev seemed like he was tamed in that fight. He was just tamed in that fight. I didn't see anything from Kovalev that made me believe he is the fighter who won and unified the light heavyweight division and then came back and became a two-time world champion. I mean, we just didn't see it. That wasn't the Kovalev we are used to seeing. The normal Kovalev would have stepped on it as soon as he thought that Canelo was hurt. And as I said, Canelo has a granite chin, but he is only a middleweight, and he felt the weight on the punches of Sergey Kovalev, who was, as I said, pushing his punches out anyway. So you have to think, if he really sits down on those punches, then he can really do some damage to Canelo, but he just didn't want to. So, I mean, it does seem fishy. I don't think it was staged, but I just think that Kovalev didn't want to get hurt. I think that was his main priority. And I think Canelo's main priority was tire him out and just take him out. So, realistically, it was never going to catch fire with both of them going in there with that kind of mindset. Because Kovalev didn't want to get hit, so he was just using his jab to keep Canelo away, not using it to incur damage on Canelo. Plus, obviously, Canelo has that brilliant head movement and is brilliant defensively and can switch from defensive to attack in incredible speed. So I don't believe that Kovalev really wanted to commit to that jab, because then he is open to be countered if Canelo moves his head and bobs and weaves past it. So that was probably why Kovalev wasn't really committing to too many of his punches, because of the defensive skill of Canelo and how quickly he can turn that defensive movement into attack and counter. So that was probably why Kovalev was a bit tame in those rounds. But as I said, He could have stepped on it because he did hurt Canelo, I believe, at certain stages in the fight. He just didn't step on it, didn't sit down on his punches and believe in his power, which is not Kovalev. That is not who we are used to seeing. But guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Do you believe this fight was staged, or do you believe it was just a bit of a stinker? I mean, it wasn't a terrible fight. It was a very technical fight and skill did come into it. But as I said, they had a similar mindset of, I'm going to try and win easy. I'm going to win the easiest way possible. Canelo, it was to tire Kovalev out. As for Kovalev, it was, I'm just going to keep my jab out there and make sure Canelo cannot get close to me. So in that respect, they both had a very similar mindset. But guys, drop your thoughts in the comments below about this one and leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Thank you guys.